just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. A quick reminder of our top stories now. Confusion in Kogi State as APC governorship candidate Audu Abubakar dies. Independent National Electoral Commission declares Kogi State governorship elections as inconclusive. President Muhammad Buhari arrives Tehran for the Gas Exporting Countries Forum in Iran. And Brussels to stay on highest level of terror alert following Paris attacks. Do remember that all our top stories can be found on our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. When you're done downloading, we do urge you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows platforms. If you've got pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, simply tap on the Channels TV app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. Well, here are some eyewitness photos you sent into our eyewitness portal, and we begin with this one from Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. It shows motorists queuing up to buy fuel. Our eyewitness reporter says that he has been on the queue for over 4 hours and is yet to get any fuel to buy. He wants the federal government to resolve this situation. Our next photo shows a fire outbreak in Oregun area in Lagos State. Our eyewitness reporter is yet to confirm the cause of the fire, but commends emergency agencies and the fire service department for their quick response. And finally, we'll look at this photo from Irua Uwesa community in Edo State. Our eyewitness reporter wants state authorities to refurbish the entire school premises, which is actually in a very deplorable state. We do appreciate you sending in those pictures as we ask you to keep them coming. Kogi governorship elections was very keenly contested, with the two leading parties, APC and the PDP, traversing the entire state, wooing voters. On the D-Day, they all came out en masse voting for the candidate of their choice. That election has been declared inconclusive. Let's now take a look at the figures. I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by Babajide Ogunsanwo, a data information analyst, to look at the Kogi state elections. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on the news at 10 at this time. Let's look at these figures now. 240,867 votes for Prince Abubakar Audu, of blessed memory now, of course, to that of Governor Idris Wada, 199,514 votes. Would you describe this as a close call, considering the difference between the two candidates, 41,313 votes?
It depends on what we want to call a close call. If you cast your mind back at what exactly had happened in 2011, Governor Idris Wada had defeated Abubakar Audu by a margin of 140,000 votes. This time around, what we've seen is a switch. We see the late potential governor leading by 49,353 votes. Compared to 2011, we see a significant performance by Abubakar Audu. What is also very important is to look at the number of accredited voters that we had today, 510,208. But the challenge and the myth that we have right now is, if we sum the total number of valid votes, plus the total number of rejected votes, plus the total number of cancelled votes, you will discover that the figure that you will get is significantly higher than the total number of accredited voters. So INEC needs to explain why the total number of valid votes, plus rejected votes, plus cancelled votes is significantly higher than the number of people that got accredited. You remember that the maximum number of people, the number of voters that we can have today, is the total number of accredited voters. So let's assume that everybody that got accredited voted. The number that we'll be having is 510,208. What we have right now is significantly higher than that figure.
Now, let's look at 21 local governments of Kogi State. What are the dynamics you would say worked in favor of the two? Let's begin with late Prince Audu.
I think what he simply had done was, there are 21 local governments in Kogi State, but the interesting thing is 7 of these local governments hold 50% of the votes. So what Prince Audu had done was to focus on the 7 local governments that hold 50% of the voting population, and it got victories significantly, and it had high winning margins in the 7 local governments, and that was the strategy that gave him the victory. Looking back at 2011, the then governor, Captain Idris Wada, who is still the governor, had used that same strategy, looking at the areas where there's high voter population, those 7 local governments, and taking victory from Prince Audu. This time around, what we've seen is Prince Audu being able to rally his supporters to be able to turn out en masse for him during this election. But what is probably even more interesting is this election wasn't really about the current governor, Idris Wada, versus Prince Audu. It was really about Captain Idris Wada versus the general, the president. We'll cast back our minds back to earlier in the year where we had the general election. The president then won in 21 states. We've had governorship elections in 19 of those 21 states, with the exception of Kogi and Ondo states. And in those 19 states where we've had governorship elections, the APC have won 18 out of 19, with the exception of Gombe State. And you do remember during the elections when we talked about the mythical 4, whereby the president was running for the 4th time, wanting to be the president in the 4th Republic for a 4-year term. At his 4th attempt, his results were declared in the 4th month. The only state that the APC hasn't won during these governorship elections is Gombe State. And Alhaji Ibrahim Hassan as well is born on the 4th month, April, and on the 4th day. You had an election this time around that Captain Idris Wada is one of 13 PDP governors, and he was trying to do what was regarded as the impossible. He's the first PDP governor that is attempting to win a governorship election without having any member of the Senate from his party. We know the 6, we have Rivers, Delta, Akwa Ibom, we have Bayelsa, we have Cross River in the South. All the states have 3 senators each. We have in the Southeast as well, we have 3 senators in all the states that the PDP governs. In Ekiti, we have 3 senators. In Ondo, we have 1 senator. In Gombe as well, we have 1 senator. And in Taraba, we have 3 senators. Kogi State is the only state that the governorship election will be holding where the governor is searching for a victory and he has no say. So on the face of it, it will have been a difficult task to pull out, especially if you look at all the states in the North Central where Kogi is currently located. All the other states are governed by the APC. So if the governor runs to the left, he's going to be running for help into an APC state. If he runs to the right, he'll be running into the hands of another APC governor. And if he does attempt to scream for help going forward, he will run into the hands of an APC governor. So that's what made this election almost certain that Prince Abubakar Audu was going to win it. The challenge, however, was Prince Abubakar Audu was also aiming to be the oldest governor in Nigeria at 68. It was going to be, if he had won, he was going to be taking that baton from the governor of Oyo State. And earlier this week, we had talked about the World Bank's estimate of life expectancy in Nigeria, 52 years old. So the expectation of possibly what had happened was this election had put a lot of pressures on Prince Audu. We had hoped that he would be able to work with a younger team to ease the pressure off him, because presently, if he had won, like I said earlier, he would have come out as the oldest governor we have. So what we will expect is not just for other governors and some of the ministers we have, we will expect that he considers some of their health implications as they drive themselves to be able to achieve the results that they want to give all Nigerians.
Jide Ogunso, always a pleasure having you to speak with us on Channels Television, and more importantly on the News at 10. Many thanks indeed for your time and your thoughts. The All Progressives Congress candidate in the same Bayelsa governorship elections, Mr. Timothy Silva, is also assuring that his party will work towards a peaceful election come December the 5th. Mr. Silva gained assurance while receiving endorsement from the State Elders Council. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafo, reports.
Exchange of pleasantries between Mr. Timothy Silva and members of the Bayelsa Elders Council from whom he had come to seek support. The chairman of the Bayelsa Elders Council admitted that some members of the Elders Council have political affiliations, but assured that the council is non-partisan.
Bayelsa State has only one party, and I'll explain that one party. The one party is the party of the oppressed, marginalized by the other tribes, bigger tribes, people who have taken from us what is due us, and we are all victims. We are all together as Bayelsans, as a job people. That is the main party. But all the other 20 parties, PDP, APC, Labour and all that, they are all a means to an end.
On his path, Mr. Silva explained what he expects from the council and also defends some of the allegations against him.
If justice is to be done, if our elders believe in justice, then the justice in Bayelsa State must start with me. You elders understand Bayelsa better than me. And you know that this state, more than many states, need a lot of security, especially during elections. I will never use security to win my election because I don't think I need that. I believe that in a free and fair election, we will win.
After short closed-door deliberations, the Bayelsa Council of Elders announced their position.
We're eligible to run the second term. And as one of our members, we would like to give you our blessing and support. We would like to appeal to you also to ensure that it's a fair and violence-free election.
The support of the elders is expected to be a boost for the aspirations of Mr. Silva as he continues to canvass for votes from the length and breadth of Bayelsa State. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
The ongoing community-to-community campaign of the governor of Bayelsa State, Siriake Dixon, still in that state, took him to parts of southern Ijaw and Yenagua local government areas today. For him, visiting every community and interacting with the people will boost his chances of emerging victorious in the December 5th governorship elections.
Governor Siriake Dixon's town-to-town campaign continues in 5 communities in southern Ijaw and Yenagoa local government areas of the state. First stop is a Depia community where indigents, particularly the youths, including football teams boldly displaying their banners, and students welcome the governor and his entourage to their community. And in a Kempai community, the traditional ruler assures the governor of his people's willingness to re-elect him.
The whole crowd you see here are behind the second tenor, because right from the history of election in this my community, PDP has been the leading political party, and yours will not be exceptional.
In Otuan town, secondary school students show their support for the governor by displaying the free uniforms and free textbooks they benefited from his free and compulsory education program. As Governor Dixon moves from one community to another, a growing crowd accompanies him with cheers and songs. It's a make-up visit in Amatolo, a riverine community, and Governor Dixon takes the time to commission the PDP Secretariat. In Amasoma town, sons and daughters of the land endorse Governor Dixon for a second term in office.
They have all agreed with me that they don't know that party. Just for the particular, just so, to put Alames here in remembrance, they will never deviate from voting for PDP.
The Siriake administration have done a lot for the people of Otuan. Formerly, we used to travel from Otuan to Yenagua 1 hour 30 minutes. But with the introduction of the road to Ayama, 30 minutes from Otuan, we are in Ayama.
With endorsements coming from the communities, Governor Dixon breaks into a victory dance.
Is that it is coming from the real fathers and leaders of the state. These are the kings and fathers who fought for the creation of River State, Bayelsa State, who are our fathers and leaders. So they are the owners of the land. And if the owners of the land and the fathers of the land have spoken, we believe that the gods on earth and even God Almighty in the heavens has approved.
The tour continues with his message of continuity, consolidation and peace, where the votes of Bayelsans alone determine the outcome of the election.
When the news at 10 returns, President Muhammadu Buhari leads Nigeria's delegation to the Gas Exporting Countries Forum in Tehran. That's in a moment. Do stay with us.